Hello. We're going to talk about Rondo, but let me see if I can make the intro work. This is Perspective Log X, and I am your host, E.A. Crespo. Perspective Log X, Lakers-fandom. Holy moly, somebody's celebrating. I'm not in LA, so it's definitely not for the Dodgers, unless there's like a group here of Dodger fans undercover. I don't think in Massachusetts there are many Dodger fans, but here Lakers fans. So, all right, maybe they're just celebrating the show. So let's talk about a little bit about Rondo. I know Rondo has been approached by different teams. Finally, we got the value of Rondo. Finally, we got his value, what it is that he brings, and and finally, other teams are taking notes on the value of Rondo. Uh, my dog is scared because of the explosions all over. But what kid football? But let me get my dog here because he's terrified. He's terrified at the sounds. So the Lakers, I'm pretty sure the Lakers are going to make an offering to Rondo to stay, and but the thing is, to me, there's a different, there's an aspect to there's an aspect um, to this that that it's that it's in detriment to the Clippers. The Clippers don't want to be a team that becomes famous for trying to rip off players from the Lakers. When you are in Lakers land, create your own identity, but don't try to rip off from the other team that is established in a place. The rich history of the Lakers in LA is going to contrast with a history of trying to uh, to rob, to take away, and there's a precedent already. Also, it's kind of bad for the players because a lot of players they want to be a Laker, and you can uh, many times you can hear that, you can listen to that, and so you have a team that is like a leech in a town where the other team is beloved, and they keep hammering at that. Um, We wanted Marcus Morris. They got Marcus Morris. We were looking at Reggie Jackson. They got Reggie Jackson. Now they want Rondo. And so there's gonna be a moment where you are not gonna win as a player. You are not gonna want to be there. So you get booed like Kawhi got booed in the first place. The first time the Clippers played, he played with the for the Clippers in the Staples Center. I don't know if you remember, but that was a local game for the uh, for the Clippers, and so it's the it's the it's the uh, it's the first time that I hear that your favorite player or your top player goes to an arena and uh, gets uh, basically booed, and that's the thing. I know that's the thing that make uh, this guy, I forgot the name of the owner of the Clippers, wanting to buy the forum, which it's another bad thing because now this is the thing that this guy is doing. Let me antagonize as much. Let me rip the legacy of the Lakers. Let me make the Clippers the team of the future. But you know, that's not a good look once. And that's not a good look because the fans are reacting to the players. The forum is not that far. So Lakers fans could go there to boo the Clippers too. He needs to get that team out of LA first. He needs to get it out. If he keeps doing this stuff, if he keeps trying to impose his money to create a fandom in a city where the Lakers rule, his team is never going to get too far because eventually stars are going to start coming out and say, you know, I'll love LA, but I won't go to the Clipper side. You know, and I think that is something that it's going to happen. It's going to, like, if they get Rondo, they are going to have to win that championship. If not, they are going to be in serious trouble, because they have done so much already to antagonize the Lakers. They have done so much already to irritate LA fans. And it's getting to a point that they either must win and not one championship. The Clippers would have to win a number of championships in order to even being considered that maybe we should have them also in Los Angeles, right? People in Los Angeles, for the most part, are Laker fans. And I know there are some Clippers fans too, but this is not even close. All right? So the other thing is, okay, Rondo helped to win the championship. Uh, the solid um, presence in that locker room of veterans, it's something else. Don't forget, we still have LeBron. Dudley is another presence in the locker room, and now a lot of players are buying out in the idea that they can win the championship, and that makes players usually better. Usually, now they have a level they feel like they need to achieve. They train better. They pay more attention to things. All that falls into place. The Lakers already won that championship, and so the players, even imagine the last player in on the bench got some benefit out of that. And so, that's something that people need to pay attention to. Now, the other thing about this is how how the Lakers are going to respond. Finally, they decided, well, we cannot match whatever the Clippers are asking for Rondo. I already said we need to get somebody who is a high IQ player. But if we get a point guard that can contribute what over 10 between 10 to 15 points a game and have really high IQ, that's what we are looking for. We might get that in the draft. uh Cassius Winston. There's another guy. I just had a video, Malaki um Finn. So check out the videos, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Both of them are close to 20 points per game. Both of them high IQ. They are not the defensive guys that Rondo was or is, but they can find holes on the defense. They are really good passers. They are really good orchestrators. They are really good floor generals. And aside from that, you don't need that much when you have LeBron and AD. Also, there's a scenario where you can send a couple of guys here for Kelly Oubre Jr. I think we should explore that. Uh, and um, we could get Jeff Green and Mo Harkless for pretty much the exemption. You know, if we get Jeff Green and Mo Harkless, we're covered on the defensive end pretty well, and they both can shoot threes. They are not the most consistent, but if we get Kelly Oubre Jr. in a deal for, let's say, Danny Green and Kyle Kuzma, and maybe Quinn Cook, and probably the um, I don't know if I would include the first round pick, but we can. There's some alternatives uh, to not having Rondo. So if I have comments from Periscope, let me know if you are actually able to. If not, I can say for sure I can get the comments out of YouTube. Apparently not from Facebook. So, if I don't answer your comments on Facebook, it's that I can't see them. And Periscope, I don't know. This is the first time I'm doing this on Periscope, so I have no idea how it's going. But let me know. Let me know what. Um, Anyways, if Rondo goes, I know that DJ Augustine is on the radar of the Lakers, but I don't know. He's kind of undersized, but he can score and he can and he's a decent shooter. I don't know, and you guys can let me know in the comments or on the chat if you think this guy is a good floor general or not. Um, so I'm open to that. All right. So um, aside from that, one thing I was talking about, if we can bring Boogie Harkless and get Cassius Winston on the draft, we are also pretty well covered there. Um, in there are other alternatives. I like this guy Bruno Caboclo. Nobody have done anything with him. He's a 6'9" guy with a 7'1" wingspan, who is he's supposed to be a small forward, and he's got a great 3-point shooting range. But they are using it in the NBA to guard centers. That's how versatile that kid is. But nobody's really using him. And I would say now that he's a free agent, I would be after him if I were the Lakers, because he was getting no money whatsoever. So if you give him $2 million, he'll be there. All right, and you can use him in the Lakers because he's a defensive guy and he can defend multiple positions. Plus, he can shoot threes. He's 6'9", 7 wingspan. Come on, man. That guy is a bargain. And I don't know. I think the problem with international players sometimes is that they are accustomed to play one position, and when they come to the NBA, they ask them to play something completely different than what they play. He's not a center. I know he can guard centers. I know he can block shots from 7 footers. I know all that, but he's not a center. He's a small forward who can accommodate his game to different positions. But if you use him as a center only, behind the last center you have, because he's a kid, you're not going to develop that kid. And that kid is amazing. If you see him playing internationally, you would think he was the biggest star in basketball, right? But because he's not being used correctly in the NBA, nobody even knows about him. But look at him, Bruno Caboclo, and look at him, his NBA highlights and his international highlights. All right, so uh, I don't want to get this further from 20 minutes. I say hi to everybody on Periscope, on Twitter, that are watching this for the first time. And well, that's all for all. Go. That's all for today, and that's Let's go Lakers, right? All right, bye bye.